Hello everyone, I'm so glad that you are here with us today. I hope that you are ready to learn and ready to get started, because today we are going to be doing and talking about all things sublimation. So I hope that we have some people here with us that may be on the fence about sublimation. Maybe you don't know if it is right for you. Maybe you're not sure if you're ready to start the sublimation process. So today, in today's training, we are going to be going over all of the myths that you may have around sublimation, and we're going to do a deep dive into the 5 steps that I feel like is the Kickstarter for your successful sublimation journey. So we now ask the question, is sublimation right for me? So we're going to go ahead and head over to our slides, and maybe you are here because you have heard about sublimation within the crafting community, but you're just not really sure if it is 100% right for you. Well, friend, let me tell you, you are definitely in the right place, because today we're going to look at all of the myths that surround sublimation, and like I said earlier, we're going to go into the steps that you need to take to make sure that you are set up for sublimation success. But before we jump into all of that, I want to make sure that you all stick around until the very end, because that's when I'm going to drop the link for our free Ultimate Sublimation Startup Supply List. Y'all, this list, it took me a while to put it together. It is a list that I've put together with all of our favorite sublimation blanks, brands, places to get all of your supplies. And this is a show up live bonus. So if you're here with me today, like I said, stick around to the end. We will drop that link for you. Or if you are watching the replay, make sure you turn on your live chat. That way you will not miss the link at the end of our time together. So make sure you stay tuned. Are you guys excited? Drop me a yes in the comments if you are excited and ready to get started. Yes, I see all of you all. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Katie, Kristen. So glad you all are here with us. I'm so glad that I'm getting to do this for you guys as well. That's what we're here for. This is what we're doing today. We're just going over the steps to start your sublimation journey, so make sure you stay with us. Now, before we get started, one thing that I ask you to do is please silence your phone. This is just going to be a 1-hour training, so I do ask that you please silence your phone. Close all of your open tabs on your computer, and please give me your full attention for the duration of this training. Now, I know that your time is precious, as is mine, so I promise to make sure that you will walk away today with more knowledge than you started with, okay? One other thing that I do also ask is to please hold your questions until the very end, where I'm going to open it up for a live Q&A, and I'm going to try my absolute best to leave no questions unanswered, okay? So I know you all are gonna have a lot of questions, but please let's try to keep them till the end. Now, there are gonna be instances where I ask you specific questions. Those questions I absolutely want you to answer, but our big questions that you feel like maybe the whole group is going to really benefit from, hold those till the end. We are gonna have a live Q&A session, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions then. Now, before we get started, first thing I want to do is I want to introduce ourselves. So if you are new to our channel, here I'm going to talk about who we are. So starting from left to right, let me share with you the in-house Makers Gonna Learn team, who is here to help you absolutely accomplish and crush your goals. On the far left, we have Sadie, who is our producer, photographer, and absolute TikTok extraordinaire. She has been able to take our TikTok way out of the park of what we thought we could do. So really, she's a great producer. Love Sadie. Next to her, we have Alicia, who is an absolute powerhouse in the craft room. She is amazing at designing and creating so much of the wonderful things that you see here on our channel. In the middle, we have our fearless leader and founder here at Makers Gonna Learn, Tanner. He truly is the man with the plan. To the right of Tanner, we have his beautiful wife, Courtney, who is our amazing creative director and does so much behind the scenes to keep this place going. And then finally, you have me, Lauren, a teacher turned craft producer. Now, I started my journey with Makers Gonna Learn about 2 years ago, and I really started, it was a leap of faith. I went from a stable, steady job to one that I really wasn't 100% sure of, but I'm telling you all, I have never worked with a better group of individuals, and we really are here to educate you, inspire you, and motivate you to get started on your crafting journey. But we definitely don't want to leave our operations team and our customer service team out. I've just kind of told you about the ones that we have in-house. We have another amazing team behind us, our customer service team and our operations team. We always want to make sure we shout them out because if you've been around Makers Gonna Learn for a while, you know that they are truly the best at what they do. Now, if you are ready, let's go ahead and talk about what I want you all to walk away from this training with. So, by the end of this training, I hope that you all walk away fully understanding the fundamentals of sublimation and how it works. We're going to be able to determine what files are the best files to use, as well as how to prepare these files for designing and printing and actually through the sublimation process. Hopefully, I want you to walk away from this and know what heat sources to use and learn the different pressing techniques as well. And as also discover all of the many different creative ways to use sublimation. So, who is ready to learn the 3 biggest myths people have when it comes to holding them back from mastering sublimation? Drop a yes in the comments if you are ready. I feel like a lot of times we hold ourselves back from trying to learn new things because we don't fully understand it, or we think we don't have the capacity to learn these new processes. But friend, you do have the capacity. And I really think that today is going to help you start the journey if you are on the fence about sublimation. Yes, I see all your yes comments. I love it. I'm so glad you all are ready. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into myth number 1. That is, sublimation is not really permanent. Now, a lot of us here have probably been in the crafting world for some time now, right? You've probably worked with both adhesive vinyl and heat transfer vinyl. While I absolutely love both of these materials, they are great materials to work with. I don't know about you all, but I'm sure we have all ran into issues with neither of them having the lifetime that we truly expected them to have. And that really is something that kind of is a letdown in some ways. So when someone comes along and tells us that there is this absolutely new crafting technique that is completely permanent, I don't know about you all, but I was a little skeptical when I first heard about sublimation because I thought there's no way that it can be completely permanent. However, throughout this training, we are going to crush this myth and you are going to learn that it is really permanent. Myth number 2 is you can only sublimate on white shirts. So let me guess, the first time that you ever heard about sublimation or saw it in person, it was on a white t-shirt, right? You may have thought that that was the only way that you could sublimate. However, that is definitely not the case, and I absolutely cannot wait to show you all of the different things that you can sublimate on. Myth number 3, sublimation is too expensive for me. Now, this is one that I hear all the time, because there are a lot of bigger purchases on the front end to be able to get started with sublimation. So because of that, a lot of people believe that it's way too expensive. However, what if I told you that you do not have to have the best of the best or the most expensive equipment, or really any equipment at all to get started on your sublimation journey today? What if I told you that being here live with us today is the start to your successful sublimation journey? I mean, I don't know about you all, but it seems like everybody thinks that they have to have all of their stuff, all of their equipment here and ready, but that is a complete myth. You all do not have to have everything ready to go. Just being here today is the start of your journey. So I'm proud of you for taking the first step and being here, okay? So look at what Sherry says. Y'all, I'm so excited. All of my sublimation equipment arrived yesterday and today. Here is my very first sublimation tumbler. Learning curve involved here. Next time I will increase the size of the image and even up the seams better, but overall very proud. Now I can start working on items for my Etsy shop. Thank you Tanner and MGL team for the Maker's Gonna Sublimate course. It is more than worth the cost. For those of you on the fence about the course, just do it. I refer back to it for everything. So Sherry was able to go through the course, really get an understanding about sublimation, and then as soon as all of her stuff came in, she was able to get started with her sublimation journey, and look at how successful she was on her first try. Y'all, that is the same day. That's absolutely amazing. And our other friend says, I'm finding out sublimation is very addicting. Maker's Gonna Sublimate is going to be so awesome. And y'all, I have to tend to agree. Sublimation is a very addicting crafting way to craft. We are obsessed with it here at Maker's Gonna Learn. So we think once you get started, you're gonna become addicted as well. So if you're ready to get started now learning the actual 5 steps to sublimation success, I want you to get your notebooks out, focus in, drop me a ready in the comments, y'all. If you're ready, drop me a ready in the comments. Yes, I love it. I love seeing all of your comments. Yes, thank you. So, step 1. First thing is going to be determining the supplies that you need to get started. This is probably going to be one of the most daunting tasks, but it is the first step on your successful sublimation journey, okay? However, although it might be the most overwhelming step, I'm here to help walk you through this decision-making process and make it as easy and seamless as possible, okay? So let's start out with the basics. There are 5 things that you really need to get started. And the first thing you have to have is obviously a sublimation printer. This can be either a printer that is designed for sublimation, so there are printers that are made and designed for sublimation, okay, that are ready to go. Or we love to take printers and convert them into sublimation printers. It is a pretty simple process and one that can easily be done with the proper instructions. A lot of times we have also found that if you purchase printers to convert, they can be a little cheaper instead of just buying the sublimation ready printers. But if you stick around at the very end, when we drop our sublimation startup guide, our ultimate sublimation startup guide, we have a list of all of our favorite printers that is already linked that you can just click and go straight to those printers. So there are options for printers. The next thing that you need is the sublimation ink, okay? The ink is one of the most important components because without this special dye ink or sublimation dye ink, sublimation really isn't achievable. It's all about this ink. What happens in the sublimation process and why the ink is so important is because once you add heat and pressure to the ink, it turns into a gas and then adheres to the polymers or synthetic fibers in the blank that you are pressing it on, okay? The third thing that you need is sublimation paper. And you can see that on the right side of your screen. This paper is specialized paper that allows you to get the absolute best color payout when sublimating, okay? Now, there's one thing that I want to definitely be 100% transparent about with you all today, is we have successfully sublimated on things with regular copy paper. Now, with that being said, I still truly believe that to achieve the best results, sublimation paper is a must. There are a lot of different brands that you can use, but make sure that once you choose a brand, you stick to that brand. And that's really going to be the most important with your sublimation ink. Once you have chosen a brand, marry that brand, okay? Now, the inks that you see here on your screen, we have a picture of Epson ink, Cosmo ink, and the Hippo ink. We have used all three inks before. Really and truly, there's not a ton, I have not noticed a ton of difference in the three, but just saying, I just want to make sure you all know, once you choose a brand, stick with that brand, because their formulas are more than likely going to be different, and you don't want to mix one brand with another brand that's already in your printer, okay? Now, the fourth thing that you are going to need is some type of heat source, okay? Now, there's so many different types of heat sources out there that you can use for sublimation. So what I want you all to do now is start brainstorming and asking yourself what you plan on creating the most of, or what would you create the most of if you were starting your sublimation journey today. If you had all of your equipment ready to go, what would you want to be creating? What would you want to start creating now? And what do you think you would want to create the most of? Would it be t-shirts, tumblers, mugs, license plates, all kinds of different things? But I want you to think about that. Keep brainstorming, okay? And we're going to circle back to heat sources so that I can really help you decide and determine what heat source might be the best for you to start with, okay? Now, we did have a friend say, why stick to one paper brand? You don't have to stick to one paper brand. That is a really good question. You don't have to stick to one paper brand. You can really and truly, the paper is not the most important thing. What is the most important is sticking to one brand of ink. That way you're not mixing 2 or 3 different brands of ink in your sublimation printer at one time. Paper, you can use whatever kind of paper you want. Just letting you know that sublimation paper does give you the best results. The 3 brands that you saw on the screen, and we can go back and I'll show you. So the 3 brands that you see here, the Hippo, the A-Sub, and the Cosmo sublimation paper, we have used all 3. We love them all. A-Sub is the one that we go to the most, but it's not important that you stick to one brand of paper. So I'm glad you asked that question. That way I could address that. You can choose whichever paper is on sale or cheapest at the time. It's just important to stick with one brand of ink. So we talked about heat sources. You all are brainstorming which type of heat source or what type of projects you want to create. Now, the last thing that you're going to need are what we like to call blanks. And this is what you're actually going to be sublimating on, okay? This could be shirts, mugs, tumblers, coasters, lanyards. You can see up here we have puzzles. There's so many things that you can sublimate on. However, it can't just be any white blank. Sublimation does need synthetic material to adhere to, meaning that your textiles need to have at least a 60% or higher polyester count, and other materials that you sublimate on, like your tumblers, mugs, things like that, need to have some type of polymer coating on them, okay? So when you purchase these blanks, a lot of times if you are on like Amazon or a wholesaler website, they will say sublimation tumbler or sublimation mug, and they will let you know if they are sublimation ready, meaning they have a polymer coating on them, okay? Everybody's asking about the prices on the ink. If you wait till the end, we are going to have a Ultimate Sublimation Startup Kit that will have links to some of the inks that you can purchase, you're looking at about $40 to $50 per pack of inks. So it's not super, super expensive, okay? Now, if you are ready for step 2, drop me an emoji in the comments. Let me know if you are ready to get started for step 2. While we are waiting, I do see a lot of people's suggestions on where they want to start. I'm loving it. I love seeing all of those. Can you sublimate on glass cans? Yes, you can if they have the sublimation coating on them. Awesome. Yes, ready for step 2. So, step 2 is choosing proper files for sublimation, okay? This is the really, really fun step where we get to let our creativity show, but it's so crucial to ensure that we get the absolute best results, okay? Choosing our files is, once again, probably my favorite part of the sublimation journey. Let's look at this slide for an example. You can see that the image on the left is really pixelated and grainy, while the picture on the right is crisp and clear. Now, y'all, I completely understand that this is a very exaggerated comparison. However, even an image that is the tiniest bit pixelated is not going to give you the best results when it comes to sublimating. If you find an image does not have the best quality, 9 times out of 10, once you go to press that on your blank, it's going to give it a fuzzy effect. So you want to make sure that you do get the absolute best quality image possible. So now you may be asking, but Lauren, where do I go to find these high quality images that you're talking about? Well, there are a few different places that you can go or routes that you can take, okay? Number 1, the first and most used method is going to be Etsy or other websites to purchase images from artists and creators. You can see here, I have some options that I found on Etsy just to put that on there so you could see. This is a great way to find files. However, purchasing files over time can start adding up. For example, the one in the middle, yeah, it's on sale right now. It's only $1.70. It's not that, $1.70 is not much, but you always want to make sure that you scroll through the description of an Etsy listing to see if it has commercial rights to those files, meaning if you wanted to sell that shirt, you can. I think that one specifically, because it was so cheap, it was only for personal use. So that's one of those that you can only use to make yourself. You can see the other ones, $4.29, $3.63, doesn't seem like a lot. However, what happens over time are these purchases can start adding up. You also, like I said, just need to be aware of the details that to see if they are if you get commercial use for these or not. I've also seen that a lot of people love Creative Fabrica for images. That is an absolute great place to go and search for your files. Love that. The next option that you can do that I've seen some people do is hire an artist to create custom files. So some people who are into Sublimate will hire someone out to create files specifically for them. However, the biggest issue with this is we're going to run into lots of cost. So when you hire someone to create things personally for you, it can get pretty expensive, right? The last option is creating and drawing the files yourself. Now you can see here, I'm like, what? So these are Adobe Illustrator or Procreate. These are the two biggest apps that you would use to create files for yourself. And while this is an absolute amazing way to ensure that all files are exactly the way that you want them, it can sometimes lead to a lot of frustration and confusion. This takes a very specific level of skill to not only know how to operate these applications, that you are going to be working in, but it also requires some level of drawing ability as well, not to mention time. And I don't know about you all, but I feel like I'm a pretty creative person, but when it comes to drawing things, I just don't think that I'm the best, so I'm gonna leave that to the experts, so that is a no for me. However, if you stick around, I'm gonna show you how you can get access to over 500 amazing Sublimation ready files that you are gonna have commercial license to, okay? This is just a very, very small look at some of the things that you're going to be getting. Now, after you have all of your equipment and you choose your designs, the third step in successful sublimation is sizing and printing your design. Now, I feel like a lot of us get really hung up on this step, right? So, let me break it down for you. The first thing that you're going to do before you upload any of your designs into whatever software that you plan on using is going to be measuring your blank. You can see here there are different, you're going to get different measurements. You're going to measure each blank according to where you want to put your sublimation design. For example, if you want a full wrap tumbler, you're going to need to measure all the way around your tumbler, which will then be your length, and then measure from top to bottom, which is then going to be the height. So, my advice to you, measure it out on the specific spot or full wrap, wherever you want to your design, and then write those exact dimensions down, okay? Once you have your blank measured and you know the exact dimensions that you want your sublimation image, you're then going to upload your image into the design software that you are most comfortable with, okay? Now, let me ask you this, okay? How many of us have felt overwhelmed and you have decided, I'm not going to do this because I don't have the capacity to learn any more design software, because you feel like you have to use a specific design software just for sublimating, right? But let me offer you this. What if you didn't have to learn a new design software to be successful? You can see here, Cricut, Silhouette, Canva. You can use the knowledge you already have to get your first sublimation win under your belt, okay? There may be different softwares that you can use. There are many different softwares that you can use to print your sublimation design, Cricut being one that I feel like most of us here are going to be the most comfortable with. Y'all, you do not have to learn Canva just to print sublimation designs. Now, although Canva is our personal favorite, that does not mean that you have to learn it and use it, okay? What Canva is it is a free software that is internet-based that you can upload, design, and resize images in. However, like I said, if you're not fully comfortable with it or know little to nothing about Canva, I highly suggest you stick with the software you know and at first, and then you can learn new software as you become more confident, okay? So, if you are confident in Cricut, use Cricut as a resource to print your sublimation designs. Now, I know and understand that Cricut does limit us for their print and cut area, but getting your first win and actually creating your first sublimation piece is going to be the biggest part in starting your successful sublimation journey, okay? We always want to start small and then work our way up, right? Who in here has always thought, I need to start big, I need to learn big, but I want to bring it back, let's bring it back, and we're just going to start small so that we can know that we have a successful journey, right? Okay, so the last and most important thing that you need to remember before printing your image no matter what software you use, is to mirror your design. This is because you're going to flip your paper upside down and press it onto your blank, okay? After you've resized and mirrored, you're gonna be ready to print. Now, I know that we may feel like we've skipped over some stuff by resizing, talking about the software, but just stay with me and I promise you I will answer your questions at the very end of our training. So, printing your design seems like a very, very daunting task, but y'all, let me tell you, it's probably the easiest part of this whole process. So, once you have uploaded your design into your software, you have sized it based on the dimensions that you wrote down when you measured your blank, okay? Then you're gonna be ready to print. Sublimation is really as simple as that. Most of the files, the PNG files that you are going to be using are going to be ready, and all you have to do is size them and print them. So once your design is ready, you're going to send your image to your Sublimation printer. Okay, so we've uploaded our PNG into our design software, we've mirrored it, and we're sending it to our printer. From this point, the most important thing to do is make sure that you are printing on best quality, okay? So you can see what I have circled in red. That is where you're going to find best quality. Now, it may be found a couple different places depending on what type of printer that you are working with, but making sure that your print is at the best quality is going to really ensure that you have the most vibrant colors and the sharpest images, okay? So, now that once you have all that done, you've chosen best quality, you have printed. I'm sure you're looking, if you've printed it out and you're thinking, oh my gosh, Lauren, this print is completely messed up. I have messed up my sublimation, it's not gonna work, because you feel like your colors are off. Let me tell you, you are still on the right track. Sublimation, when it does print, the colors are going to be dull. And that is because, like I said earlier, the Sublimation ink is a dye, special dye ink that does require heat and pressure to really activate, okay? So, do not feel like you have messed up. You have not, I promise, just stay with me, because our next step is going to be choosing the best heat source. So, I want you all to go back and remember when I said that I wanted you to brainstorm on the things that you would want to create and sublimate the most, okay? We're talking about the things that we want to sublimate the most. This is where I want you to bring those ideas back. Drop them in the comments for me, because we're going to talk about the different heat sources and which ones are right for the projects that you want to create, okay? So drop in the comments those brainstorms that you had earlier so that I can get a good idea about what you all are wanting to create, what you think you might want to create the most of, okay? So I'm going to give you all a few minutes. I'm going to take a sip of my water, and I'm going to look at all of the amazing things that you want to create. So I'm seeing t-shirts, mugs, shirts, tumblers, all these different things. Yes, I'm seeing shirts a lot, loving the shirts. Shirts are a great place to start with your sublimation journey. Bags, pens, glass cans, loving it. Awesome, yes. I'm loving all of this. Okay, so choosing the best heat source. I know we all worry about making sure we get the best heat source for our journey, but that can add up, right? However, what if I told you that you do not have to have the best of the best to get started, okay? I promise you, you don't. You do not have to go out and buy a brand new heat press to start sublimating today. I'm sure that we have, some of us here already have some type of heat source, probably even a Cricut Mini or a Cricut Easy Press. Excuse me, I did not mean to say mini, but you may have a Cricut Easy Press. What if I told you that you can use that to create your first successful project, y'all? You do not have to go out and get a press. 100% transparency again with you guys. When I started sublimating, the Easy Press was what I went for. It's totally possible to sublimate with it. You just have to hold it down for the pressure. You have to manually hold the pressure on top of the Cricut Easy Press. So, you don't have to have a brand new heat press. One big advantage of an Easy Press that I think that you may not have with other heat presses is that you can actually manipulate this Easy Press to go exactly where you want it to go. Whereas other heat presses are pretty stationary and you have to adjust your blank around the heat press. So heat presses Easy Presses are really good for t-shirts. You're just gonna be limited to the size of the heat plate. Just keep that in mind, okay? Now, speaking of heat presses, let's talk about the different types of heat presses and what they can and cannot be used for. So as far as heat presses go, you have three main types, and you can see them here on your screen. You have, at the bottom right corner, what we call a clamshell heat press. On a clamshell heat press, the heat plate is raised up and down, much like the shell of a clam. So you see the arm, you manually move the arm down and it closes. So the heat plate is actually closer to your blank on the back side than it is on the front side. Some people like that, some people don't. Now, the swing away that we see on the bottom right works much like the clamshell heat press, except it raises straight up and then swings to the side. So that's going to be a personal preference, which one you feel like would suit you and your space the most. These are great for t-shirts and things that you can lay flat. With both of these heat presses, you can manually adjust the pressure and then you manually close them with the arm, okay? The third press that you see on the top is an auto press. Now, this type of press has a mechanism that automatically raises and lowers the heat plate itself. And with this specific auto press, if you can see the handle on the front, you pull it out much like a drawer. So you pull it out, place your blank on it, push it back in, and then press a button, and the auto press, the heat plate automatically lowers onto your blank, okay? So all of these types of presses are great for sublimation projects, like I said, that have a flat surface that can be sandwiched between two plates like shirts, hoodies, pillowcases, license plates, bags, and so much more. Okay, we love these types of heat presses. I really wish I could go into detail all of the different things that you can do with these heat presses, and really and truly, the one that we go to the most is going to be our clamshell heat press. Not saying that we don't like a swing away or that we don't like the auto press. It's really just the one that we have. It's never let us down, but this is all going to be a personal preference. We have used all three types of these and we love it, okay? Now, the other two types of heat sources that we're going to talk about that you see here are for things that do not have a flat surface, like tumblers and mugs. The first one that I want to talk about is the one on the bottom right, which is the convection oven. We absolutely love the convection oven for so many different reasons. Number one, it's budget friendly. If you're wanting to create, especially if you're wanting to create tumblers and mugs, normally you can find these convection ovens on sale at Walmart, Amazon, different places for around $100. And another thing that I absolutely love, especially about the French door convection oven, is that you can put multiple cups in here at a time, okay? So the only downfall about this type of heat source is if you do not get your sublimation image really, really snug on your blank, there's a chance that you will get what we call ghosting or a fuzzy effect, okay? So with this type of heat source, you really have to wrap that image around your tumbler, get it taped down really, really well, and then even sometimes put like a silicone wrap around your tumbler will really keep that image held down onto your blank, okay? Finally, you have the tumbler press on the left. We do have one of these and we really do love it. However, I feel like this is specifically for those that plan on creating sublimation tumblers to sell. And the reason being is because it's a little bit of an investment, but it gives you an extremely professional look on tumblers almost every single time. This is because the press really hugs the design up against your blank, allowing for little to no ghosting at all, okay? So I know this has been a lot of information about heat sources, but I want to make sure you are aware that you do not have to go out and purchase a brand new heat source just to get started, okay? So just be clear, if there's one thing that you hear out of all of this, is make sure that you know you don't have to go out and purchase a brand new one. Use what you have to get started, and then once you get yourself, your feet under yourself, and you really get your first sublimation project under your belt, then you can determine which other heat source or bigger heat source might be better for you. So if you're ready for step number 5, drop me a yes in the comments and we will go over our last and final step for your successful sublimation journey. Yes, so Tina says, I use my convection oven for tumblers and have good luck with it. Would love a tumbler press, but it isn't priority. Yes, absolutely, Tina. Our convection oven does really, really well for our sublimation tumblers. So it's kind of like the tumbler press is a little bit of a, how would you say, it's like a, I'm trying to think of the word. Help me, y'all. Nope. Anyway, it's like an extra because the convection oven in my opinion, is going to be the best. So I'm seeing all of the yeses. Step 5, preparing and pressing your blank. Before you press your design onto your blank, it is extremely, extremely important that you follow these steps. This step seems like it may be irrelevant, but in truth, it's probably just as important as the others, okay? Kelly says overkill. I could see that as the tumbler press. Okay, so before you press your design onto your blank, it is extremely important that you lint roll your blank, okay? The reason for this is to prevent foreign fibers from emitting a dye onto your blank once it's pressed. A lot of times what will happen if you have not lint rolled and you press, especially shirts and things like that, you're gonna get like there's fibers within your shirts that will leave a blue residue. So once you have lint rolled, you're then going to take your design, place it on your blank where it belongs, and adhere it down with either heat-resistant tape or sublimation adhesive spray. Both of these adhesives work absolutely great. It's really just a matter of opinion on which one you want to use. Finally, and most importantly, you're going to place a piece of butcher's paper both under and on top of your design. What this is going to do is make sure that it absorbs any moisture that may be trapped in your blank, but it will also catch any sublimation ink that may escape as well, preventing the ink from sticking to your heat plate and being transferred to your next project, okay? So, butcher's paper, lint roller, heat tape, or sublimation adhesive spray, these are all a must-have when it comes to pressing your design onto your blank, okay? Now, one thing I really want to make sure that you all understand though is practice makes perfect. If you follow these tried and true steps, you are going to be successful. It doesn't have to be perfect for the very first time, but I promise you, if you follow these steps, it's gonna be pretty darn close. So now I want to show you some of the things that we have created, and here you can see some of the amazing things that we've created with sublimation, and this just scratches the surface, okay? These are just some quick things that we've created. There are so many other things that you can create. I did see someone in the comments talking about sublimating on wood. Y'all, you can use laminating sheets to sublimate on so many different things. Our channel is full of different mediums that you can sublimate on, and really the possibilities are endless. They truly, truly are. So with all of that being said, we've talked about our myths, we've gone through our steps, but I want to go back and I want to talk about those myths one more time. So myth 1, we said sublimation can't be permanent. However, that myth, we completely crushed it. We learned that through the process of sublimation, the sublimation ink is a permanent solution, which in turn makes it an insanely sellable option. And I don't know if you all understand, like when you're trying to sell, let's say shirts you have created with your Cricut, things like that, you really have to give very detailed instructions to those that you sell to about how to wash and care for their garment, okay? Or garments. But with sublimation, it's so permanent that you don't have to give those same instructions. It's really, truly on there for life, okay? So myth 1, it's crushed. Now, myth 2, you can only sublimate on white shirts. Once again, we have completely crushed that. There are so many different things that you can sublimate on. While it is true that sublimation does not have white ink, and it does have the most vibrant colors when it's pressed onto a white surface, that does not mean that white shirts are the only thing that you can sublimate on, okay? Like I said earlier, you can sublimate on wood. Somebody asked about earrings. You can sublimate for earrings, or sublimate earrings. Koozies, tumblers, cups, license plates, bags, so many different things. You can even sublimate on colored shirts if you bleach the color out, which is a very, very big trend, okay? So we have completely obliterated myth number 2. And finally, myth number 3 is sublimation is too expensive for me. Although it may seem like a big investment on the front end, in all reality, sublimation does not have nearly as many maintenance costs as you think. You're not having to constantly purchase new colors of vinyl, new mats, or things like that. Plus, there is a really, really good chance that you probably already have some of the materials that you need, okay? Here we can see Jernique says, I was clueless when I got my Cricut and found you all on YouTube and have been rocking with y'all ever since, teaching me how to lay vinyl, sublimate, and make stickers. So grateful for this channel. Well, we are grateful for you as well. Kim says sublimation is definitely an easy process. It's the setup and calibration that can be tricky if you don't have a little help. Luckily, I had Makers Gonna Learn to guide me. After a week of procrastination due to fear, I purchased some test materials and hit the ground running. Thank you, MGL, for helping me find the answer to every question I had surrounding sublimation in your course and YouTube videos. I present to you the evolution of sublimation. So you can see that Kim started out, it's not 100% perfect, but it's really good, and it just gets better as she goes on. So, would you like me to help you master sublimation without any confusion, overwhelm, or costly mistakes? Because as I see it, you have 2 options, right? Option number 1 is going to be figure this out on your own and end up frustrated and exhausted. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to be the type of person that thinks I can do this all on my own. I don't need anybody's help. I'm very hard-headed. I feel like I can figure it out on my own, and a lot of times what happens is I get lost in the black hole of what I like to call YouTube. I am searching for videos, I'm seeing all of these tutorials, but I don't know which piece goes first. I have this out of order, and I end up getting frustrated and just completely giving up, right? Or you have option number 2. Follow a tried and tested path from stressed to successful. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I hope that you chose option 2, because I would like to invite you to join me in Maker's Gonna Sublimate. Maker's Gonna Sublimate is a tried and tested course that walks you through the process of everything you need to know about sublimation from start to finish. From getting your printer out of the box to setting it up, all the way through becoming a sublimation pro. So, if you decide to jump in with Maker's Gonna Sublimate today, what do you get? You get 19 video tutorials, instant access to our Maker's Gonna Learn Sublimation ebook, as well as instant access today of 200 plus sublimation files. Now, I know we said earlier 500 plus, but y'all stick around with me because I'm gonna tell you definitely something you need to hear, okay? But that's not all that you get. If you jump in on Maker's Gonna Sublimate today, you will get lifetime access to all of our editions and anything new that we add, and I mean that. So if I could have Sadie drop that link for our sublimation course, all you have to do is click this link, $70 off. And what I mean by all of our editions. Now, all of our editions, y'all, I said at the beginning that you would get access to 500 plus, and you are. Right now, you get instant access to 200 plus files, and we are going to be adding so many more files in the next month, plus more video tutorials. Now, we're also going to drop for you guys, everyone here, whether you decide to grab the course or not, you're going to get access to our unlimited sublimation startup kit, and we will drop that link for you all as well. Someone did ask, once purchased, does it expire? No, it does not. You get lifetime access to this course no matter what. Never expires, okay? Here you can see the list of all of the trainings that you're going to have access to today if you sign up. So one thing that I get asked quite frequently, if I don't have any of my supplies for sublimation, should I sign up? It's like, I know that I want to get started for sublimation, but I don't have anything today. Should I go ahead and sign up? My answer to that is absolutely. Because, like I said earlier, I tend to try to do everything, go head first and try to do it myself and end up lost. But I'm also terrible at thinking that I'm going to need to purchase everything beforehand, and what ends up happening is I purchase way too much, or I purchase the wrong thing. But by signing up for Maker's Gonna Sublimate today, you can go through, we walk you through the setup of multiple printers so you can determine which printer you want to use, and then we walk you through all of the different things that you're gonna need so you really have a grasp on what you need and what you don't need, okay? But y'all, don't take our word for it. Here you can see David said, finished my Maker's Gonna Sublimate course, and here are some of the first projects. I think they turned out pretty good. It's a great course. Thank you to the whole MGL crew and everyone here. I learned a lot from the post in the group. Yes, those projects are amazing, especially for David's first sublimation projects. Y'all, blown away. Jackie says, thank you, Tanner, and Maker's Gonna Sublimate. I used my own files, made a garden flag in Inkscape, I had to go back and forth between Inkscape and Tanner until I got it finished. I'm still scared to make anything in sublimating, but Tanner is starting to take away my fear just a bit. Yes. So that's what we're here for, is to try to help take away your fear, take away the confusion, take away the, oh, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. I'm not sure. We're here to help you so that you know that you can. Claudia says, one of my absolute favorite designs from the Maker's Gonna Sublimate course. I'm impressed with myself. Claudia, I'm impressed as well. I love that shirt. Kind people are my kind of people is one of my favorite files as well in the sublimation course. Morgan says, OMG, yes, I can sublimate, but taking it to the next level with the sublimation course with Tanner. Beyond excited because I've seen other sublimation courses offered, but I seriously love his style of teaching and his YouTube videos. We are super thankful for Morgan and all of our Maker's Gonna Sublimate team as well. Our goal with Maker's Gonna Sublimate is to take all of the guesswork out of sublimation so that you can get right to making beautiful projects. When I tell you that when we were putting this course together, we went through hundreds of dollars in blanks. I'm not exaggerating in the least bit. So our goal with this course is to save you money in costly mistakes that you are not gonna make after taking this course. So I've seen people ask, well, what's the price? What do I get? So the regular price of this course, once you add everything up that you're going to be getting, is almost $400, which is insane. But y'all know us, and you know we love a good deal around here. So to get started with Maker's Gonna Sublimate today, it is only $127, okay? And when I tell you that you need to get in on this price now, that it's a must, I mean it, because we are going to be doing a price increase very, very soon. But if you get in Maker's Gonna Sublimate at this $127, you're going to get lifetime access. You're going to get all of the updates that we get, all of the updates that we add to the course for free, plus you're going to get all access to the new files that we add. Let me tell you, I have seen some of these news files and they are phenomenal, okay? So jumping in on this $127 price is a must. Stephanie says, I just bought Maker's Gonna Sublimate. Do I have anything to sublimate with? Nope. But knowing how great Tanner and the MGL team is, I couldn't pass up this amazing deal. Merry Christmas to me. Absolutely, Merry early Christmas to everyone else. One of our friends say, wow, that's cheap. I paid lots more. Yeah, $127 is an insane deal for this price for 19 videos. Right now you get access to 200 plus cut files, but like I said, we're adding we're gonna have over 500 by the time everything is said and done. So super excited about that. So if you are ready to jump in, click that link that Sadie has dropped and pinned to the top and get started on your sublimation journey today. Now, one thing that I want to make sure that you all know and understand is you do not have to pay in full today. If you click that link, you can see that you can sign up for one payment of $127, or you can sign up with two payments of $63.50. Yes, Susan, this is a one-time purchase. You do not have to, this is not a yearly cost. This is a one-time fee of $127, or like I said, two payments of $63.50. What will happen is if you pay $63.50 today, then in 30 days, you will have another $63.50 taken out of your account, okay? So make sure that you jump in on that course now. Once you get to the checkout, all you are gonna do, enter your information and then go down to the bottom and click submit order. You will then get access, instant access to our Maker's Gonna Sublimate course. Plus we also have a Facebook group that you are going to have access to as well, where you can go and ask questions, get help, post your amazing things that you are going to be creating and just get feedback. And I absolutely love that. So hurry up. You definitely need to jump in now. This is going to be your very last chance to grab this course with the $70 off discount. There is no coupon code needed. This discount is going to be going away very, very soon. So jump in on $127 if you get it today, or 2 payments of $63.50. So we've talked about the course overview. Now we are ready for our Q&A. Now is the time. I want you guys to drop your questions in the chat so that I have some time to answer your questions. Okay? And make sure that we get everyone answered. So we had a friend ask, when I got my course, it was only access to files and nothing more. Can we get the ebook link? You should be able to go, if you've already purchased the course, you should be able to go into your dashboard and have access to that ebook already, okay? The books are all ebooks. Do you mail hard copies like the MGL membership? We currently are not mailing hard copies of the books. However, you can print those books off and have them binded yourself. Can I join this group without being an MGL member? Sandy, absolutely. You do not have to be an MGL member to join Maker's Gonna Sublimate. You can just go ahead and sign up for Maker's Gonna Sublimate if this is the only type of crafting that you want to do. Annette, welcome. Annette says she just signed up. Welcome. We are so glad to have you. Anne asks, how do you get the seams on a tumbler to look good? And that is a great question. A lot of times what I like to do, so especially with tumblers, I tend to lean more toward the sublimation spray, the Condi Dye Pro Dye Trans Sublimation Spray, rather than the tape for tumblers, just because I tend to get a better result because I feel like I can wrap it tighter. So what I like to do is maybe make the design like a 1/4 of an inch longer than what you measured, so you have some overlap and you can cut that seam off, and just make sure you wrap that super, super tight and get that taped down really well. Okay. Carrie says, I joined before I had all the supplies so I could get the right stuff. Love to hear it. Absolutely love to hear it. Would you explain when to use PNGs and when to use SVGs? Yes, I would love to explain that to you. So PNG stands for Portable Network Graphic. So what that is that is a file that is predetermined with a set number of pixels. So what happens is it's pretty much for printing. So I like to think of PNG, the first letter in PNG is P for printing. That is how I personally keep things separated. And then the SVG is a scalable vector graphic, which means it's not comprised of pixels, and you can scale it as large or as small as you want. And I like to think of the SVG, so it starts with an S, for scissors. So that means those files are mainly used to cut on your die cutting machine. So you're not going to use SVGs for sublimation. You are going to lean more toward, you're going to use PNGs because we're using printable graphics, okay? Donna asks, I have the yearly membership. Is this an additional cost? Yes, this is an additional course that is separate from your membership, so you don't have to be a member to purchase Maker's Gonna Sublimate, or if you are a member, then you can still purchase Maker's Gonna Sublimate, and everything's gonna be housed in the same area, okay? It's for you to understand that it's a lifetime membership. Yes, so Glenda we love Glenda. Glenda is a regular here on our channel. It is a lifetime membership. Glenda, for example, joined our Maker's Gonna Sublimate when it very first came out. And she has access, she's gonna have access to all of the brand new sublimation files that we add, plus all of the new curriculum that we add. She's not gonna have to pay an extra cost, and neither will you. So jumping in now, right before we do the price increase and add everything else, is really and truly the only way to do it. The only way to do it. Can I use my Easy Press Mini for any small designs in Sublimation? As long as your design is smaller than the heat plate that you use, then yes. So I know we had somebody ask earlier, and I'm looking, oh, we have a mini Easy Press here. So I know that we had someone ask earlier about earrings. So if you are just creating earrings, this is just the first thing that pops to mind. If you are just creating earrings and it fits within this teardrop on your mini Easy Press, press it down. I would use it at a heat setting of 3 because sublimation works best if it is at 3, I would say about 370, 375 or higher. Really, it works best the higher you can get. So if you want to do small designs, then yeah, just pushing your mini Easy Press and holding the pressure down, it is doable, but only for small designs, okay? Can I participate at my own pace, or is there a set schedule of classes? I am so glad that you asked that, because this is a go at your own pace course. You do not have to be here at a specific time. You do it on your own. Let's say you decide to do 1 video a day, so 20 minutes a day. You can get this done and become a Sublimation Pro in less than a month. Y'all, super, super easy. Set your own pace. I love that you asked that question. Susan asked, how long is the price good for? Payday is tomorrow. Yes, Susan, it will still be here tomorrow, but I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to be here next week. So if you want to jump in on this price, you need to do it very, very soon. So like I said, it will still be good for tomorrow, but I'm not 100% positive if it will be next week, okay? Now, still drop your questions. I would love to see all your questions, but I want to welcome some of our new Makers Gonna Sublimate friends who have signed up during our training. Y'all, I'm so excited. We've got a couple more coming over here. So welcome, Julie. Welcome, Julie. Love to see this. Welcome, Michelle. Michelle B. Welcome to Makers Gonna Sublimate. Kimberly A. So glad to have you with us. Normally we have a little board that we stick it up back here, so I'll just lay them down. Welcome, Annette. I think I welcomed you, but welcome again. Michelle D. Welcome to Makers Gonna Sublimate. Jerry M. So glad to have you. Welcome to Makers Gonna Sublimate. Bernadette B. Welcome. You all are gonna have the best time in the course. Sandy, welcome. Elena and Judy, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you all in our Makers Gonna Sublimate course. I can't wait for you all to start your journey, and I absolutely can't wait to see all of the amazing projects that you are going to create. Yes. Once again, drop your questions in the comments if you have any questions. I would love to answer them before our time to go. And like I said, make sure that you jump in on this price. It is $127, a one-time purchase. You get instant access to 19 plus videos. You get instant access to 200 plus files and your Makers Gonna Sublimate ebook. But that's not it. If you jump in at that $127 today, because we know, I'm telling you, we know for sure that we are updating this course, adding new course videos, adding more files. That's not going to change the price for you all. You still get access to that for free. But if you wait until we do the price increase, then you'll have to pay what the new price increase was and still get the same as the people who are purchasing today. Yes, love that. Jasmine says, signing up when I get off work today. So excited. We are so excited for you to join as well. What's your opinion on successfully breaking into selling sublimation process? Does the course have any tips on that? So Susan, we actually have a separate membership for selling your crafts. Really and truly, my advice to you, if you are trying to break into the selling world, then I think that sublimation is for sure the way to go. So your first step is becoming successful with sublimation, but I really think that sublimation is the biggest thing right now and the best way to get into your selling journey. My advice is just to become a sublimation pro and then start selling locally and then move your way up to Etsy, online, and things like that. When you sublimate on wood or glass, is there a special coating that you need to use first? So Kelly, I personally love using the pocket laminating pouches. You can get them at Walmart, Amazon. I put that on the hardboard canvases. You can put it on, I've done it on glass. We've done those on wood. Those are great too. The laminating sheets are phenomenal to put on any surface that will take it and then be able to sublimate on top of that. So that's my advice, is to use laminating sheets on wood. Yes, I did tell everybody, but I will remind them again, as well as all of the stuff that you get with the course. We also have a private Facebook group for our sublimation people so that you all can go in there, ask questions, get your questions answered, post your projects that you are creating, and all of the stuff. So we love, love, love that. Susan, if you said, sounds interesting, I'm really considering joining. Is there anything that that I could help explain to you that might put you over the fence? Anything at all, I would absolutely love to answer your questions. Donna says, how do we get in the Facebook group? We will actually have an admin add you to that group. We will make sure that you get in there, okay? Does Sawgrass ever have sales or deals? That's the printer I would love to have. So Judy, we do have a Sawgrass as well. We do love it. I personally have not seen any sales or deals on them recently, but just to be 100% honest with you all, we normally go for our Epson Eco Tank, okay? That's the one I gravitate to, is going to be the Epson Eco Tank almost 90% of the time, okay? Lauren, have you guys done the sublimation stickers? Diane, no, we have not. We have not done sublimation stickers. I have an opinion on sublimation stickers, not saying, we may have to end up trying them. Well, I'll just say that. At this point, we may have to end up trying sublimation stickers. Anne says, I had doubts too, but I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad you did as well. I watched the sublimation keychain video last night. Tanner cut the pattern out by hand. Could he have cut it on the Cricut? Michelle, I'm so glad that you asked that question. So, there is a lot of times people will, if you print your sublimation design through Cricut Design Space, you think, oh, well, I'm going to use my Cricut to cut out that design. I tend to not do that just because nothing on the outside, as long as you cut around your bounding box, you don't need it to cut out on the Cricut unless you want it to be an exact thing. The reason I don't cut it out on the Cricut is because you all know with our Cricuts, sometimes they can be a little finicky. And maybe your calibration is off, so sometimes there's a chance that it could cut away your sublimation design. So I just like doing a rough cut or even tearing the paper around it. That way I don't get those harsh lines when I sublimate on my blank, okay? Which Epson printer is your favorite? Oh, that's a really good question. I have tended to lean more towards the Epson SureColor printer, just because it's already sublimation ready. I will say it's not a wide format printer. However, you can print 8.5 by 14, which still fits your 20-ounce skinny tumblers. So I just feel like I can get just as much done with the smaller printer. I mean, there are instances where the larger printer is going to be better, but if you're just getting started, I suggest I just really like the SureColor, personally. Susan says, not really, you answered all my questions. I probably will join. I love sublimating. I just want to become better at it. Susan, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you become better. We have had so many people who already know how to sublimate still take the course and say that they have learned from it. And that really is our goal, is no matter what step you are in your sublimation journey, if you are just starting at the beginning, you're in the middle or advanced, we still want you to be able to learn something from our course, okay? Susan says, I've been able to use that printer with 8.5 by 11 for 20 ounce. Yeah, technically you can. You can definitely do that. Skinny tumblers are going to be best for sublimation. Tapered tumblers are extremely hard when it comes to, if not almost impossible. Yes, you can catch a lot of the Epson printers on sale, especially the Epson EcoTank. Just the regular printer, and convert that into a sublimation printer, which we do with you in the sublimation course. We teach you how to convert that printer into a sublimation printer. So we do love that. Love that. Also, I want to welcome a few more friends to our sublimation course that Courtney has handed me since the last time. Donna D, welcome. Elba Lily, welcome. I saw that she commented earlier. Linda L, welcome to the sublimation course. And Joanne, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad that you all joined. We're so glad to have you all here. I'm going to give you all a few more minutes to ask any more questions that you would like. I'm going to have Sadie drop the link for the Ultimate Sublimation Startup Guide one more time. Just so you all have it, make sure you grab that. That's just links where I have put together all of our favorite sublimation stuff that we go to every single time. Can you use Epson sublimation ink in a converted Epson printer? Yes, so Epson does. I'm not sure if you all know or not, but when Epson came out with their SureColor printer, they do have sublimation ink, so you can go on there and buy the Epson sublimation ink. So if you want to, instead of putting your regular ink, let's say you buy an EcoTank, instead of putting regular ink in your EcoTank, you can get the Epson ink and put it in your EcoTank to convert into a sublimation printer, okay? Aw, thank you, Annette. I like to try to keep it up. I don't know if you all could tell, but this was my first little training like this, so I'm so glad that I had such an amazing group. You all have been so good. Oh, Donna says, dang it, you said my name. I'm sorry. You should have put in your little notes, don't say my name. Oh, she did? Oh, I missed it. My bad. That was somebody, I don't know what you're talking about. That was another Donna. That was not you, that was another Donna. Well, I'm so glad that I have been here with you guys today. I'm so glad that we've been able to have this time together. As always, if you have any other questions that I may not have answered, make sure you email them email customer service, hi@makersgonnalearn.com. They will send those over. We will be more than happy to answer all of those. So glad that we have had this amazing time together. And as always, we will see you guys here on the channel again later.